Hey, what's going on, guys? The Langbang here. So another kind of random video, just while we're all quarantined here. So I just wanted to go over some cards that I've purchased within the last week or so, and kind of give my reasoning as to why I picked them up. So Dole Overload was definitely a really good set. Before that, naturally, I did have the shit all structure. I'm not going to show really any of that right here. But yeah, I mean, there's been some good releases here recently, so I don't throw a ton of money into the game, but if a card is cheap enough, or if there's an upgrade for a small cost, I'll certainly do so. So Lullaby of Obedience, I mean, this was one of those cards to where a couple years back it was very big money. We did get a reprint, but it's really cool for mirror matches, or if it's just something in particular that you can name it. It can either go to your hand, or you can get it summoned to the field. So that's just really cool. So does no harm just to have 3 copies of that laying about. I got like that set for like $2.50, I think. So even though it may not see play right now, it's just cool that I have you know set. So I did get Trap Tricks Genlisa. So this card's really cool. It may not see play right now, so I do have a profile coming up with this card. But I mean, essentially, I feel like if you want to use this card, you have to use a lot of trap hole cards just to get the most use out of this. Because if you think about it, all your other cards are grabbing cards and whatnot. You need to have more targets. I feel like so. I mean, we'll kind of see how things work with that. But that was a good pickup as well. I think I paid like $1.50 a copy. Chaos Dragon Levianeer. So those of you that know me know that I absolutely love Chaos Dragons, Chaos decks, just anything Chaos. I've pretty much, always used it at one point or another. When Levianeer hit, I was basically at that point to where I was just playing like kind of casually. So it's like, I just wasn't dishing out money for the bigger cards, and I was just using whatever I had laying about, and then I'll just get some budget options or budget decks. So now that we have Levianeer reprinted, this was a must buy for me, especially with Chaos Emperor Dragon. The original, that's now at 3. The Chaos Emperor Pendulum, the one that was a prize card, a year or two back, that's going to be reprinted. So I'm going to get 3 of those, and you can use Melody of Awakening Souls. I'm a really big fan of Shaddolls. Lightsworn, that's a really good engine too. So just good mix of light and darks, and there's some other engines you can play around with. So I think this was a must buy. It's just going to be good again sometimes, so there's no way that it won't be. And the fact that this is a alternate art, I don't think it's going to drop down any lower than it's at. It's like 4, maybe $5 a piece. I mean, I could see this just going up over time. I ended up picking up Earth Golem Ignister. Somehow I didn't have any. Just a good super poly target, so just good to have there. So I did end up getting the Megalith core. Let me. Sorry, thought I had all this sorted out, but I did not. So I had the portals, the Phalanx, I mean, Aerotrons, Ophiuls, Ak, Hagath, and Bethor. So I got like the whole core there, especially with a deck core. If I pick it up, whether or not you do end up using 3 of each card, I just like to have that just on deck. So just for a rainy day. I really like rituals too, just in general. I mean, I've been trying to figure out like how to use, Necros, because I actually never used that when the deck first came out. So once that deck got reprinted, I picked up the cards, and it's just a matter of me taking the time to just solitaire and kind of get an idea of what kind of plays you want to do and not do and whatnot. I got a 5-headed Link Dragon. I mean, I don't know how many Link 5s are in the game. I think there's a firewall that might be a Link 5, but this is just really cool that you can just use any 5 monsters to bring this out, and it's 5,000. I paid like $2, so that was well worth it. Condemned Dark Lord. So I like fairy decks. I never really used it when I used to play a whole lot, but I do have all the fairy cards. So if I wanted to use like counter fairies, I also have all the Dark Lord cards, so I just thought of this as a must pick up. So I wasn't sure if I would need more than one, but I just went with one for now. So this card's pretty cool too. Armidal, the Star Leader Dragon. So this card's really cool. That was not the coronavirus, by the way, but yeah, I mean, it just allows you to bring out a monster from your hand. That's really cool. You can't use him as a link material, so that's just one thing to keep in mind, but that's kind of cool that it can potentially help unclog your hand. 3 Ozza, the Earth Charmer. I didn't end up getting any of those at my sneak, just because, you know, Trap Tricks, I'm sure there's other Earth decks I'm just not thinking of. You know, these sort of like links, I mean, I have 3 of each one. Like every single Earth Charmer that's been out, and then, you know, all the Hippotiongen and the Mrs. Radiant, and, you know, all those other guys that, you know, you kind of get where I'm coming from with that. So, these are kind of random, but I picked up 2 Catastor and a Decisive Armor. So as I mentioned, I picked up Nekroz a little bit ago. So these don't get used for the most part, but I figure why not just have copies of them. You just have spells, and you know, you have different ways to manipulate different levels. Incantations are different levels. I don't even know if you can mix Megalith with Nekroz, but you know, it's just a matter of, you know, just having those just for a rainy day. Magician, Black Chaos Max. So back onto the ritual kind of thing going on here. I figured, yeah, why not? An incantation, you know, ritual spell, I believe, can summon this. So it was just a random pickup. And then my last card that I wanted to go over was Serratus. So this card's absolutely insane. So even though it's a ritual, it's actually a card that you can use basically in any deck that you want. So don't mind that it's blue in color, but I'll just pause here for a second. So when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, discard it and negate the activation. So that's really cool. So it's not destroying it, it's negating the activation of it. That's just a crazy good card. I mean, it allows, you know, some of your plays to go through. You can bypass some hand traps. So I originally never got this because, I mean, I'm sure right when it came out, it wasn't like a lot of money, and I was kind of just slow to it. I guess I just never like read it. This card hit like, I think like $10, and I was just like, I mean, $10 isn't a lot, but just how little I play anymore, I just figured, I guess we'll eventually get a reprint. We did. These were like $1 a piece, so those were a must buy. So yeah, that was just some stuff I wanted to go over, kind of random video, but just want to try and throw some, you know, content out, you know, while I have time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed these sort of videos. I'll try and think of some other random content to bring up, and certainly, you know, with these sort of cards you're seeing and some other cards, I'll have some more profiles up. So all right, have a good day and peace.